grow as a grower? Are you tired of being put to sleep by your educational growcasts? Are you tired of hearing about products you don't fucking want and can't afford? Hi, I'm Johnny Apple, and joining me is everyone's favorite amphibian, the Reverend Pirate Frog. Join us as we sift through the bullshit on the internet and try to get better as growers. This is your average grow.
Hey, dude.
Hey, man, what's up?
Not much. Just got called to this emergency meeting, so I'm excited to figure out what's going on.
So I listen, it's not my fault, but I forgot to tell you we were going to record tonight. So here you are, thankfully. And it's because we were going to record last night, but somebody fell asleep. But we got him here tonight. Judas, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Look at that, Judas. Closing the loop of having almost everyone I play D&D with on the podcast. Another one down, Johnny.
And I swear I'd never do this.
Why? You don't want to lower yourself to the standards?
He didn't want to be involved with anything that Yag does.
Poor guy. Yeah, I don't blame you. It's terrible to think of. So anyways, man, thanks for joining us. How you doing tonight?
I'm all right. I got really stoned.
That's okay. It's a typical Yag fashion around here for the guest and or the host to be fully medicated.
I don't know how someone could do this not medicated.
Don't worry, there's not much you have to do other than like answer questions maybe and listen to us ask them.
I had to do that. Pint of blood and
no, yeah, like there's no donations, there's nothing to be worried about. Like it's perfect to smoke a joint to and just fucking relax with the guys, man. No pressure. No pressure. So I do gotta ask then, obviously you're a partaker of cannabis if you got really stoned. What led you to the path of cannabis? How'd you get started?
Originally just to make friends when I moved to the state I'm living in now.
Yeah. Begins with a
peer pressure? Is peer pressure the reason?
No, actually I didn't smoke it for the first year I was around it. I got it for people. And that helped me make friends. Everyone wanted to hang out because they knew I could get it.
Right on.
Nobody liked the old kid.
How long have you been consuming them?
15 years now.
Right on. So I hear you have the most stellar ability to roll a J that anyone's ever seen. You're like the J rolling master.
Yeah, that comes from having to roll everyone's joints when I was younger, like 15, because no one could roll. They were all fat-fingered.
Fat-fingered? Is that maybe that's why I have to use these fucking
fat fingers. They were big.
Oh, I have to use this thing, man, because I can't figure it out. Like even with the
rolling
king size
machine.
paper. Yeah, it's
for
machine.
the audio listeners to the podcast that we do.
Oh yeah, I guess.
I
did look at the analyticals too. There's like not even half watch it, so that's a good point.
Yeah.
The rolling machine.
The analytical.
Just use your fingers as the rolling machine. Leave one finger in there, fill it up, and just tack it down and put one side over, push it down, and just continue that way. It'll look like a cone when you're done.
I think it's funny that you explaining it is going to change my ability with fine motor skills. Like you think I don't know what you're attempting. I got it. I just can't do it. No, but you held it down at Alabrije's pop-up. You became the designated roller to everyone's happiness. And it was awesome getting a chance to meet you and your wife. Hell of a fly cross country to meet up with everyone is incredible, man. That was super rad. So I appreciate it. But what
you have actually
hold
met
on.
in person now?
Of course
like this is another one.
Of course we have. Johnny, I've
this
tried
is starting
to meet
become
everybody.
part of our shtick. Because you and I are just never gonna meet It's just part of
Well,
the shit.
it's
September.
not for lack of
We
trying.
meet
on your end.
everyone in between.
Yeah. It's almost like I'll meet anybody, and you put walls up and refuse to meet your next door neighbor. But it's like Howling. Howling's always makes those jokes like, "Oh well, I live right with Howling. You
So
don't go
funny.
outside. It doesn't. You could meet a bunch of people
Well,
easily, but
there's a fence in the way.
yeah. Okay, anywho, I do want to say though, you talked about smoking. What did you smoke before the show?
Oh, I can't say it's anything great because I'm out of head stash. It's Rhythm flower. No, not that one.
Oh, okay, so some just dispo till you get to your next harvest.
It's
what
Night Owl Haze, and it
how
tastes like
interesting.
greens, and it makes me so jittery.
Oh,
I
always a
should
good.
have smoked an indica.
No, you would just turn into like Howling or Stony when they get smoked too much and they become silent.
It's hard to smoke too much indica. Like it doesn't really happen often. Now sativas, I can smoke half a joint and I'm like, I've got to stop. It feels like I did some hard shit.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't
it's
get that level anymore, man. I don't fucking. Maybe I'm just not paying attention to what it is I'm smoking, the way I'm reacting to it as much anymore.
yeah.
I'm just fucking like blindly consuming at this point. I don't even label jars half the time because it's like, fuck, I don't care. I got 2 jars left. I don't even care what's what. I just fucking rush into the next fucking harvest to put it in. You know, it's fucking wild. But
It's the head stash game of catch up, my friend.
yeah.
Whatever.
It's like I don't have time to figure out what the
yeah.
fuck's doing what anymore. It's like I just got what I got, man.
Yeah. You're not allowed the luxury. You're like, it would be nice, but I don't care because it's all I got.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it is funny when you're like, oh, what are the effects? Well, it's either that or nothing. So that's pretty much the best
high,
effect.
I suppose. Yeah.
Exactly. But before we get too far from the fact that this is a growing podcast, our buddy Judas does grow. So why don't you hit him with some questions, Johnny, with the cannabis questions before we get too far?
All right, so we got you to talk about your history and your relationship with consuming it. How did you get started growing it?
Oh, when I first started smoking it, I fell in love with it. And anytime I like really started to like something, especially at like 15, 16, 17, I deep dived into it. And where I was at, couldn't grow. So all I could do is research. And I popped one seed at like the age of 19 and everything was going good. I put it in the woods and it ended up getting taken by the sheriff's office, and they left a card in the pot and said, if you want your plant back, come to the address. And I was like, yep, you got me. And I
do like that. As much as I am not a fan of that particular career, leaving a card with "if you want it, come pick it up" is pretty fucking funny, man. Like
it made me laugh, honestly. I thought I'd be like devastated, but no, not really. And then
at that age, that's about the best you can hope for, though. Yeah, you can be like, all right, I got caught, but
one is treated like 99.
Yeah.
But fast forward till last year, so 11 years, I found the CC podcast the beginning of last year, and I have my own business. Well, I'm a contractor, but I consider it my own business. And I was like, I've got the money. I wasn't doing great mentally, and I felt it would help. So I said, fuck it. I really don't care anymore. It's something I need to do. And I bought some beans and a whole fucking tent from Bios.
Yeah. What were the first beans? Did you fall prey to
you guys?
Who introduced you?
Grateful.
See, another mark against that son of a bitch. Do not trust that guy. Yeah, he's
TGG.
He is one of the best. But what did you got for your first beans, did you got, or did you actually do some research?
So hard by Seedsman.
Yeah.
It was trash. It was one was Northern Lights, and it was Fast Bud. Most of them were Fast Buds from Seedsman, and the Northern Lights got big, but it smelled like nothing. The smoke was trash. I didn't like it. And then this one with it was a Zombie Kush that got like maybe that big and produced like 2 smokable nugs, and I didn't know what I was doing. Or it was genetics, I don't know. I haven't ran that one again, but the Fast Buds was shit, and I sunk like $120. And then I ended up giving them all away for 50 cents a piece on a waffle.
Well, it's okay because you got a seed to harvest, right? You sat out and accomplished exactly what you needed to do, and then by grateful, I'm sure we're talked into better genetics. Another horrible marketing stuff.
As soon as as soon as I started talking to him, I started finding way better genetics. Like maybe a couple weeks into my first grow, because I met everyone in there real quick. Because I joined the Discord like right before my tent and everything got there. Like I joined CC's Patreon and all that, so I could have people I could like directly talk to and know I'd get a response for help.
I'm sorry that you have to deal with us that often.
Yeah, it's so horrible dealing with my best friends.
Yeah, right. No, so if anybody listening doesn't know, in the Discord, Judas is probably like a regular. So,
probably
yeah,
is a funny way to quantify
probably.
that. Probably
like,
meaning he totally is. Like I said, we play D&D on Sundays together, but
yeah.
So he's made it a home. So we joke that he has to deal with us because unfortunately he chooses to.
Whatever way you want to judge it or quantify it in yourself, Johnny, is how you do it, right?
Yeah.
He's forced to be here through some kind of weird committal thing, and that's fine. We're just going to
He's not. I
it.
swear he's not under contract.
No, we couldn't afford Judas's contract. You know, surprisingly, Judas gets into a lot of legal issues. So sorry, you got your tent. You did. Had a bad first run, except for the fact that you accomplished exactly what you set out to accomplish. You just didn't like the yield or the terps, obviously. So you improved on genetics. What was your first plant that you were like, okay, this is the shit. This is the one that.
Oh God, it was 2 at the same time, but I gotta thank Dino for it, little bastard. He sent me some mystery mezcla seeds. And I had beans from CC's Patreon, Sacred Watch, and
Outcast. Shout out Outcast.
Shout out.
And Alabrije,
and Outcast.
Outcast fucking has great genetics. Like that was my second run, I think, was that. So I had everything I needed by my second run. Genetics was the most important part.
How do you grow currently?
Soil.
The words right out of my mouth.
Yes, Howling Tech. Well, technically, no, I'm not Howling Teching it this time, and it's kind of scary. I'm reusing my BAS because my 3.0 because Terp Therapist sent me FFJ, FPJ, and I think water soluble calcium that he made all himself.
So how are you reusing it? Are you dumping and mixing and starting over, or just no-till, taking the root ball up and?
The root balls were already taken out beforehand. I do that when I go to put the soil in the bin.
So you don't use? Okay, I'm tracking.
Like there's still some no-till, but the bin sat outside in the heat, which it gets real hot for months. Yeah, because I have 2 bins. One of the bins I don't have over here yet, but that bin sat for a long time. So I figured just take out the bigger root balls I see and just go with it. and it seems to be working. There is some deficiency issues, but I'm rolling with it.
Are they deficiency issues or watering issues?
I think they're deficiency at this point because the colors on the leaves, like there's light green patterns going up the leaves that in like a pattern all the way up each part of it. And
are they in flower?
Kind of, yeah.
So they're flipping to flower right now? So transitioning.
I'd say the Drowsy Lobaka has been in pre-flower for like a week or two. And it's finally like it's stretching more, I guess.
And this is the first time you're reusing 3.0?
Yeah.
And it's now, so how old is it? This is all second time use 3.0, like mixed in one big tote?
Yes. And they were bought, this bin was bought on my second run, so probably, I want to say April,
so almost a year.
Oh shit, yeah.
Okay.
The second bin, it's got all my fresh stuff in it, but that one's at my old address.
So what size pot are they in?
The Drowsy Lobaka is in a 3-gallon in my 2x2. Then I just transplanted horribly, I might add, a Dakar Haze that I'm growing with Howling into a 5-gallon pot.
Shout out Flammulated.
Yep.
There is a reason. There is a reason I do not transplant.
I never do it, but I fucked up and put it in my broken Yag mug that was glued back together. And I didn't put no drainage in it, and it started to worry me. Like I was laying down at night and I'm like, it's bothering me. So I tried to transplant it, and half of the fucking soil stayed at the bottom with the bottom of the taproot, or at the bottom of the cup with the taproot when I did this, and half the soil came with it in the plant, and all I felt was a snap and the plant came out, and then half the soil was in the cup. And I'm like, oh boy. She was looking bad this morning, but she kind of perked up by the end of the day. They're under 24-hour light right now. That's also something I've never done.
Then it'd be tough with an injured plant without a light rest period to heal itself. So bravo to see some sort of anything out of it, because normally without some sort of rest to fucking heal, it's tough to get them to respond to that.
Probably switch it to 18.6 or at least 24.
Yeah, maybe give her some lights off if you're really hoping to get anything of it.
I always recommend giving at least a little lights off period.
I normally always do, but
there's nothing wrong with discovering and finding your own style and what works, right? Like, especially in some environments, you have to run 24 just to keep humidity down and keep temperatures up. Like, you just do what is best for you in that period. There's no right or wrong way in that regard.
No.
But I want to say, one thing that really, really does help you get a better sense for transplanting, though, is when you get used to transplanting photos. Yep. Because you get a lot more forgiveness. With an auto, you get like almost, if you've never done it before, you get almost halfway scared before you even try, and you fuck up simple shit, right? Yeah. That's why, like, even Captain Autoflower has his technique where he cuts it and does all that shit, which works for him. But I don't see the benefit because I'm a shaky hand motherfucker, and if I touch it, it's going to get fucked up, right? The more hands-on I am, the worse it is for that plant. So with autos specifically, photos you could fucking transplant like Johnny and be like, oh shit, I halfway transplant that. Oh, it'll be fine. It is what it is.
Yeah, so
it will get you more practice, and I think you got some. Do you have a photo going now, or you've got plans on it, right? Oh, sore subject. What a great host.
Really sore subject, yeah.
I couldn't get them to pop. I tried 6 or 7 beans across some applesauce crosses, and the Afghan seeds that I have, and they would start germinating. I'd put them in the soil, nothing would come up, and it's been weeks and nothing's come up, and yeah.
There would be a tail. You would see a tail. You would put it in the soil, and then
Because I was
by any chance
paper towel. I used to never do that, but I was using a paper towel inside of a Ziploc. And
can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Is this the soil that was outside?
Yeah.
Something might be eating the tail and eating your seed.
I hope to God it's not ants.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as someone who had a similar problem, where I was having seedlings that were getting attacked, where I seemingly thought was out of nowhere, or I was having seeds disappear, and I discovered that I had an invasive ant issue. It might be something that you might spend a little time looking at your soil closely.
Yeah, I remember all the time making fun of you for it. So
I'm not smiling right now because I feel deeply for you. But if the camera was on, the pinata would be. No, I'm just kidding. No. I honestly, I have had that issue. It is probably what happened was that's probably obviously why I looked deeper at my soil.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't making any sense, similarly to you, where I was losing like seed after seed, and then I'd get a seedling and it would get devoured, and I'd be like, okay, like literally losing a leaf on one of the first friggin' true leaves immediately when it came in, and I was like, okay, I got to look into this. Something's wrong. So you might want to take a look at that. Or do you have worms in there? Because worms also will eat it, and if they're starving and there's nothing else.
No, there's definitely no worms.
There's something, if you don't have any pests and you have that issue again, something that I've found that helps a lot. And it might help a lot with if you're planting into soil that's too hot or something, and maybe that's aren't aware of because you don't have a test on. Remove like a handful of soil and put in new seed starter, or use like a puck like Howling does or something. It is so much easier. Like I normally
really
don't.
Soft peat.
Yeah, a soft
really
peat
starting to
puck.
fucking.
I normally don't mess with them, and I direct sow. But when I was having issues and I used a peat because I was so frustrated, I was like, I'm just going to put it in a peat and watch it so that I know it germinates, and I'll see. And it really does help for those situations where your soil is really active and you have a lot of stuff. Like if you're just going cycle after cycle and you have a lot of stuff still decaying, and you're like, I don't have anywhere that's not hot. Those they seem to help a lot.
Yeah. Well, my thing is I wasn't working, or I just got back to working when I moved into here. So you
were busy as hell too. So there's also the fact that you probably just had 7 different things on your mind at that second. And because I've also had that happen where I think I plant a seed and it turns out it was on the surface somewhere over there, So it is tough to diagnose, obviously.
What I'm going to do is go back to my tried and true Howling Tech.
Oh, do explain. I'm fucking dying to hear what your fucking plan is with your Howling Tech for this. How are you going to remedy being able to fucking germinate fucking photoperiod seeds? I'm dying to know what you're going to buy to fucking fix this problem.
Buy photo clones.
There you go.
Oh my God. I didn't even think about that. I'm such an idiot. I was just like,
me too.
Yeah.
I was
gonna like
shit.
Or maybe
already
if I could
rooted.
Cut badger.
Yeah, you are going to Hash Bash.
Jet fuel. Yeah, he's going to Hash Bash.
Yeah. So excited.
Bastard. It's coming up quick, man.
Yes, it is. And I just got my W-2 for my brother. Oh yeah. The company I work under is my brother's company. So he does all my tax, or sends me my tax information. So I get to file my taxes and get all that shit paid for beforehand.
So you probably 1099?
W9 or 1099.
Yeah, 1099 and W9. It's
And it all goes through
taxes
my
are super fun because at the end of January you have to get out all your 1099s, and since we're talking it's such grow related, but some vendors, some notable sketchier vendors don't like when you ask for their 1099 or W9 and refuse and get really angry when you request it, because I need that stuff because I got to send shit out, right?
Yeah.
It is very funny where you get text messages and they're like, yeah, I ain't got one. All right. Well, just ignore my email for 3 times, please, so I can at least say that I tried.
My brother would kick my ass if I ignored him about that.
Dude, and it's not like I give a shit. It's my accountant, right? And I deeply love my accountant.
My accountant is his accountant, so
yeah. See, I deeply love the dude. It's just every day. Did he get that yet? And I'm like, man, get off my back. I almost, go call him yourself. Yeah. And that was Yag tax time. Thanks for tuning in. No, I'm just kidding.
So,
never
Howling Tech, did you buy yourself a worm bin then yet?
Not yet, but that is on the list. I have a bunch of purchases coming up once I get my taxes.
No. You're going to make one.
You're
going to make
Let's see if we can spread your fucking tax money out and have you DIY it for much fucking cheaper. Why is the microphone in my fucking nostrils?
You're angry when he said he was going to buy a worm bin.
Yeah.
You quite literally can make a worm bin out of anything. That shouldn't be the one that you purchase. The worms, though, you might need to purchase.
Yeah, I have looked at how the worm bins are made, not because you guys talked about it a lot. And it does seem pretty freaking simple.
There's
one problem. I hate the store that carries most of those items.
Yeah, you don't need to go to any store. There's so many different
probably have options. Shit around your house.
Yeah.
Mine's made out of wood.
Any plastic tote will work for if you want to do it in your garage or outdoors. There's other options. We can get into that. But I want to say that there is a list, in my opinion, of needs for your grow. And I think the first need before anything else is SIPs. We got to get you onto bottom watering completely. Either an earth box or you make your own.
Everything, all my plants are all getting butt chugged. They're either on some kind of bait.
Butt chug is not. I guess
it is SIP. It is you.
But it's not a sub-irrigated planter.
Yeah,
there's a difference.
Butt chugging, I think,
is like SIP's angry little brother.
It is very much making the best of the situation that you can, and I'm talking specifically about like putting a saucer down on a pan and putting your pot in a saucer and stuff like that. That's just making the best of the situation you can. But partially the reason I say SIPs and not necessarily just because like to differentiate between your bottom watering, but size too. Because if you're doing organic, you'll benefit from a larger size, and it'll be much easier than trying to make it work in like a 3-gallon without doing fully embracing the Howling Tech and getting, like all of the rooted leaf stuff that he uses and whatnot.
I keep it so minimal. It's buildable.
Yeah. And so in my opinion, you would benefit from a larger container. And I think if you can combine the two, either do, and the auto pots are unique in that you can get away with the smaller containers but you do need you'd need some kind of feed basically if you want to make it work in a 5-gallon with as little as possible. But I think like an earth box or a container you make yourself would be super beneficial, specifically the allow you the time to be lazy and when you're not interested to kind of ignore it, right?
Yeah.
When you get sidetracked and stuff, because the size will allow you to kind of pre-plan is a poor way to use it, but like set yourself up to be allowed to be lazier.
Yeah.
I think that if I was in charge of how to help you, that's the first thing I would do, because you seem a lot like Johnny and I, where the least amount of work that you can get away with is beneficial because you have so much other shit going on in your life, you know? And the only reason I wouldn't recommend Autopods, they're great product. I've never personally used it. They achieve amazing things. The extra feeding schedule that you would need to adopt to make it work on your end is just something that I have no experience with, so I couldn't recommend it.
And I don't like the idea of all the like tubing and the reservoir being up high and stuff like that. Like for me, normally in my life, that spells out trouble.
Yeah, I could see Johnny's eyes going wide.
Yeah, it spells out trouble. Also, here's the fucking thing. I'm glad you mentioned this, Padre, and how you can make this easier for Judas. The fucking problem then becomes it gets to be too fucking easy, and then you fucking forget you actually have to do shit every now and then.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I had a raspberry parfait sitting in this fucking Autopots fucking thing with the reservoir and yada, yada, yada. Now, the reservoir being up so high, I can only fill it so fucking much, but it takes a considerable amount of fucking water. It takes a good amount that I was like, I'm not ready for this plant. It's got water. It's got soil. I don't have to fucking worry about it. Guess what? It went too fucking long and I forgot about it. The thing fucking runs dry and the plant's fucking dead when I go to check on it. It's like, how the fuck? That's annoying. And then you also have to remember to fucking, when you have a huge bed of soil, you have to make sure that your lights are on the right fucking schedule, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, it doesn't matter how much soil or if you're growing hydro or cocoa.
But when you get lazy, that's what I'm saying.
Make
it's like
your lights
when you've created the perfect lazy situation, you have to remember not to be too fucking lazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I generally don't assume the worst of people when I recommend things, though. So I'm gonna keep recommending that you get something like that. Maybe do what Dino does. Your buddy Dino, he makes his own, and he has great success.
I'm pretty sure, because we've had so many messages between us, he's probably shown me exactly how he's made them more than once and told me how to and that I need to. I just never have.
As much as I really hate giving our DM compliments because it goes straight to his head. No, I'm just kidding. He really is, and he is a great asset because he has so much just information that he can download you with. Like he's just a bright dude. So he's helpful to have around. Don't tell him I said that though.
Tell who you said what?
Knowledge for a while. He's like the third or fourth person I met in CC before I came over to YAG. He's always been smart.
Yes, I wouldn't say always.
Well, his food choices are a little questionable.
It's okay to say it. Some very smart people are fucking weirdos. I'm related to a shit ton of them. All got doctorates and that don't want to spend a day with them because they're just weirdos. Anyway. No, so you just bought, I know you bought that special sci-fi tent.
Oh, God.
I kind of want to hear about that.
It's been doing pretty great. I've got
so describe it for those who don't know, and Johnny.
I was gonna say, hey, this is cool. Yeah, what's doing pretty great? Sci-fi tent. What do you got? Fucking Luke Skywalker on a fucking. What's going on here?
It's R2D2, but it's the Vivasun V-Grow, and it's their all-in-one smart tent thing, and it's only all-in-one and automated if you buy the drip irrigation. That is not included. So it does not really, and it doesn't come with a humidifier or anything. Like it pretty much is just a normal tent that is supposed to run on its own that has a tray for like an ACI base.
Right on. Like that's cool though. So if in theory,
a tray for an ACI base, I guess I'm missing.
It's pretty much got a base at the bottom with wicks to go down into it to.
Oh, one
Like
of
a
those
grow tray.
fucking. I got it. One of those fucking the Grow in the Mitten uses those things.
Yes, that's what I use pretty much in both tents now. But
Okay.
I've got the drip irrigation. I'm not using wicks anymore because the moisture was too high for a little while.
Do you deal with where you are? Do you deal with extremely high humidity?
Normally, yes, but in here, not
Really?
really. Like, the humidity stays
Time
normal.
of year, probably right now. There's probably no.
It's probably going to change very soon because it's getting warm again.
Dude, we were just saying this has been like the weirdest year in a long time. Like it's been cold for a long period of time where it normally you get like a fucking thawed. Like we've had snow pretty much since it fucking snowed. And
See,
normally
here,
that doesn't fucking
like
happen
this for
here.
a few years. It's been fucked here. Like the winters have been so long. And this year it actually seems a little bit shorter if it continues to get as warm as it's been. But it's been our coldest winter that I've had to experience for a long time. Like it got fucking cold. Like there was ice on my windshield most mornings, and when it got below 30, I was shocked.
Yeah, it's been fucking wild. This year has been
Yeah.
fucking wild.
We had massive fires in January.
Yeah.
Are those fires out yet, dude?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
The majority
I was
of
gonna
them
say
are.
because I
there's-
thought last
there's
week
been a
I heard
few.
there was a fucking another one popped up. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my
if
god.
if you ever get a chance and you're super bored, pick any time of the year and go to calfire.com and you will be able to see somewhere on the state is on fire. So there's
Holy
constantly
shit.
fires. Yeah, it's fucking insane. But it's been an
That's
issue. But yeah, I agree. We've also had extremely cold temperatures. And like we've got our first couple of rainstorms. Like our first rainstorm was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then we got rain now. And that was like our first rain of the whole winter. So it's been a unique winter, but I suppose that's the future, isn't it, gents?
I hate when it's not raining because I use rainwater to water my plant. I prefer to use rainwater to water my plants.
Do you get a lot of rain where you are? Because if I tried that, I would never ever have a plant. I don't have enough rain to water anything.
I've not recently, not in the last like month or so. We haven't got a good rain, but normally I'm able to keep a 5-gallon thing halfway full. My one right now is probably halfway full,
That's not bad.
but
How do you collect?
Huh? Oh,
How do you collect?
I took an old bin that I used, a 32-ounce quart. Well, I took a few of them that I used to use for mushrooms and just let them sit outside. I put rocks in the bottom and just let them sit there. Then I'd dump the water into the 5-gallon jugs and store it.
Nice. Perfect. I had another question, and then the rainwater collection threw me for a fucking loop. That was awesome. Oh, it was the this time of year you're not battling heat and humidity. What do you do normally to combat the heat and humidity? How are you exhausting your space and your tents?
Oh, I crank the AC the fuck up, and that normally fixes everything. Like, I don't have to use a dehumidifier or anything half the time. Well, I used to in my old place, and it kind of sucked, but I didn't have to use it often.
Nice. Yeah, that's what I find, too, is around here, it's just the fucking AC just nails it. It just sucks because it runs so often.
I did notice that as long as I make the outside temperatures, like in the room, what I like comfortable for me, the tent stays perfect. And that same thing is applied in the new place.
Excuse me. I've been starting to my long room or my fucking lounge here. I have it set to like 75, so it's like warm in here for me. And then I notice I can get higher temps for the LEDs because
Yeah.
LEDs want a little more fucking higher temp, and that was the only way I was able to get that was to like crank it up in here. But now I'm fucking like battling humidity issues while it being that warm, especially like during them summer months. Oh, it's a fucking bitch for me because it's hot.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's fucking weird.
The one thing that sucks about really high humidity too is, unlike low humidity, the solves, the fixes are generally really expensive.
Yup.
Like there's not much you can do for cheap to lower your humidity.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Yeah.
you can do for cheap to raise your humidity.
The only option you have is space.
Yeah.
Right? So you
Yeah.
need fucking airflow. It needs to have space in there. Like it's gonna be humid, but you just need to keep fucking space and keep the air moving.
Well, I mean, your low cost solutions, like you said, are spread them out and then get in there and remove leaves and try your hardest
those are
to
like
spread
the
as much
impossible
air.
solutions. Like your tent's only so fucking big. Like
Yeah.
if you overgrew a fucking tent in high humidity, you're fucked.
Anytime I keep, because I have one in the 2x4, I have one fan at the top blowing down at the light bar to keep that kind of cool because it's a 3x3 light in a 2x4. And I've got another one a little lower that oscillates real at a low low speed.
Yeah.
And I noticed that my humidity pretty much stays at like 56, 60, which is my target because I think it's Growing the Mitten told me about his Perpetual when I was first posting in the CC in my grow room over there. And he said it worked for him. I love the way his plants look. So I was like, okay, I want a Perpetual. So
what's your temp then if you're hovering around that humidity? You like 80?
My temps are normally sitting around 76 to about 82. Like nice. 76 is probably what it's at right now because it is kind of cold. But it's normally throughout the day at its hottest point like 82, and it just sits there.
Nice.
I used to be scared and leave it down to fucking at like 75. And if it got higher than that, I'd be like, okay, it's got to get cooler in there. Then I learned about how easy it need it hotter. So
it's very funny how concerning you are, or how concerned you are as a first-time grower, like over all of these funny things. I'm very, very glad that the first time I planted a seed in high school, I knew nothing about this shit because it was just like put it in a closet and wait. Because the stress that a lot of people have, like over VPD and all that, chasing the dragon, where they're trying to keep it within like a certain percentage point, and they're just battling like
anymore.
Yeah, and as you get more experience, you discover, and as you're about to rediscover, you have to kind of grow in what area you plan on growing to figure out what's going to be the baseline and what season is going to change it, and then you just kind of figure what battle is appropriate to do with nature, because you're going to have to a little bit, but hopefully it's a sane fight, because if you're trying to keep it within a percentage on humidity and you're running a dehumidifier all day nonstop, man, that's a pretty penny.
Yeah, no, thank you.
And it's for the most part unnecessary. So you can still get good shit without the headache if you just kind of slow down.
I'm sorry, I can get good shit doing it. Anyone can.
That's what I tell everybody, man. If you just literally pay attention and set yourself up beforehand, you can grow very easily without much effort. To where once you've planted your seed and you've kept it moist, the soil moist for the first little few days, you can pretty much check out and then get to the point where every 2 days you can look if you want, right? Like, just look.
That's what I did wrong. Holy shit. With the photos, I don't think I kept the soil moist enough around
I was going to ask, like, I was going to say that was the only other thing I could think of, was it under or over during the, like, because if you took that perfectly moist little seed and put it in like even the really slightest dry, dude, I've done it 100 fucking times. I've done it. It's either too moist, or I've tried keeping it too moist, because my first initial thought was, oh, it's good, and like this is just moist enough, but it was like cocoa, or it was too dry, or it caught a piece of fucking dry peat that didn't, because peat will take a while when it's hydrophobic. It looks wet on the outside, but it's really not. And it could even be that too.
Draw all the
wondering.
moisture away from that taproot, and you killed it. But
I think that's what I did.
I don't want to assume that you just had super dry soil and you're just putting the seed in.
I would immediately assume that because I've fucking done it 100 times. Still do it all the fucking time. It's one of my biggest problems is watering.
See,
A lot of people.
That's why I can't grow auto periods.
Auto periods. No, I was gonna say I think a lot of people's biggest fears with growing in general is watering, and there's all kinds of tips and tricks that people preach and stuff, and I don't think a lot of them work for someone who doesn't quite understand, and it's their first grow. Right? You kind of got to get comfortable with how heavy your hand is, and you watch how it settles. All that stuff that just comes with experience. But when I first got an earth box, I was amazed at how much you can force feed plants to drink. So the possibility that you're the possibility that you're like underwatering is extremely high. And that's why they sell those sensors now. I don't have one, but you guys speak all highly of them.
Dude, I love them. Do you have one yet, Judas?
Dino got me onto those like when I was growing mystery mescla with him, and I fucking love them. Right now, I need to get AA batteries because it's dead. So I've been going blind for a little bit.
I haven't killed mine yet. Mine are still fucking alive, and I've had mine like.
It's been close to a year.
Okay, yeah, mine are over a year now, so they're probably getting to that point.
My batteries, I guess, were just shit that came with it.
Let me ask you then. Oh, so if anybody who doesn't know what we're talking, you got the EcoWits, right?
1 second.
They're like the little green trigger looking things with like a metal. They kind of look like a gun, and you bury it.
Let's see.
Oh, you got a whole different kind of moisture meter. That's like an analog version. So tell me about that thing. I've seen those before. How does that work?
Where is?
And that's battery powered?
Yes. Where the hell did I just put it? No.
I don't know. I'm not at your fucking house, guy.
Watch me break it.
So anybody listening, he's got it's like a 2-prong moisture meter. You may have seen him if you've done any sort of gardening. You've probably seen these like 2-prong moisture. So yours is battery powered. I've not seen. I've seen the one like with the fucking little needle.
Yeah, it's got a little like weird coil thing and like sensor at the top right there, and a shitty battery that came with it.
All right,
interesting. That looks way different than those standard BS meters that you stick in 2 prongs and it just kind of goes like.
And like this is how you read it.
Oh shit! So there's like a Bluetooth fucking display, like a LCD display.
I think it works over like a
Wi-Fi
2.4 gigahertz or
Wi-Fi. It's kind of like those the microscopes, the Wi-Fi microscopes.
Yeah, and
but that's really cool. The one that Johnny was describing too, the EcoWits, I bet they do similar things. They just presented differently. I could be wrong, but the benefit. Can you guys talk about? I don't use one, but it has helped you with watering, right?
The benefit is consistency. So for me, what I've been able to do is not give a fuck what the number is, as long as that number is consistent, like with my watering. What I like to see where the plant is, right? So I got to get to a point where I've watered so heavily I got water coming out of the bottom, right? Like when I know I'm fully saturated. Like I have to know that I'm fully saturated. No, I'm at a good fucking, this is where I want to see the 10, whatever it's reading at a stable position at that point. Usually the next day, right? So right now I can pull mine up. They're fucking they'll read like that one reads 56% because I just fucking watered it, but that one is reading 42% too because I just watered it. But my tent that's heavily in flower that I've like been coming back on the waterings, like not watering as heavily, like trying to get it to fucking finish. It's been like 30 when I'm going like, okay, it's time to fucking water now. And when I had it at like in the beginning stages of flower, I was pushing that bitch to like 60, constantly 60, and just like letting it just suck and suck and suck. So it's just, for me, the benefit of these things is consistency. Just doesn't matter what it says as long as I'm like have a consistent number to follow. Like it gives me just something to aim to. You know what I mean? It gives me a fucking aiming point, I guess you could say.
It is a really great point too, because often when you are starting out or messing with a new way to do it, if you don't have, like, you don't know if you're overwatering or underwatering, let's say, you have nothing to compare that against, right? You don't have, like you said, a number, so you can say, okay, well, I was a little heavier handed or so, but you don't know how much. So it is a really good tool. I still don't know if I'll get one, but maybe one day.
It completely changed the water game for me. Like, I completely quit overwatering.
Hell yeah.
Does yours have like a history? Can you see a history on those screens?
Sadly, no.
So that's the only thing I am able to do with these, that like if somebody were new and really wanted to fucking delve into fucking learning the history and like where they went wrong and what did, this has like a fucking history you can track and see the fucking graph and track. It's pretty fucking cool if you were a total nerd, but I use mine more like yours. I would go with yours for sure, because I don't even pay attention to that shit.
In my fantasy world, I imagine Howling has like Excel sheets of just all of his past waterings of each genetic, and he like compares it. Like before he plants a seed, he pulls up like
a picture,
6 years.
Turns out on Tuesday, January 23rd, exactly. I went a little heavy on the watering.
Yeah, like all these, like he has like graphs, like he plugs in USB drives to some computer that only runs like watering detailed graphs through it, and he's like, okay, I've selected which genetic is next. But
and he weighs everything out.
That's
how he knows how to water.
Yeah, it is very funny. If you ever look at someone's beautiful plants and you're like, man, what do they do that I don't do? Spend like a 20-minute conversation with Howling, and you're like, yeah, man, good on you.
he does a lot for a supposed lazy grower.
He's one of the best growers that I know.
He really is.
He's fantastic, and it comes at a price. He knows more about everything than I.
If I were gonna send any new grower to anyone, it would be Howling. In all goddamn honesty, like he would be the person to fucking just steer anyone in the right fucking direction. Cause like, dude, he is the biggest hobbyist in this fucking hobbyist I know. Like this motherfucker is in.
One caveat: if someone came to you and said, "I want to grow for the cheapest I can, and I want to make everything myself," there is no way he would do that. But
he wouldn't steer him wrong. He would fucking
no. He would absolutely, but he would definitely not recommend it
to us broke people.
I do love it, and I obviously we are completely biased, and also that we love him and have him on the show. But he also grows organically, so he's like a team one for lazy growers.
There's one thing I forgot to mention. This. I got it from BGG.
What is it? A white box?
Yes, and I'm trying to find it. There's a sticker on there.
Blueberry wine.
But it's blueberry wine.
Oh, you knew the sticker. It must be. I couldn't read that.
Of course I knew the sticker. You think I can read that shit, dude? He puts it up next to like a webcam, and I'm like, I know that sticker.
But that's going to be the next thing I'm growing, and I'm fucking excited. Like
It gets
that's
big from what I've heard.
like that
awesome.
shit. Oh my god. I forgot to mention it when you guys were asking about what I was going to be growing. That should already be soaking, but I've been lazy and, well, I've been working, not lazy.
You lazy son of a bitch.
Yeah,
earning
so you
money
like your
to pay
time
bills
when you
and
get
shit.
home to not fucking do shit, right? Like that's when I get home time. It's yeah.
I'm going to buy a new bag of soil for when I pop that. So I know
Right on,
100% it'll go fine.
There you go. Looking forward to it. Now, we've had a conversation about growing partially. Now it's time to turn into what I think is a glimpse into your soul, Judas. A real retrospective on who you are as a person. Johnny, if you'd be so kind.
I would be so kind. I would likely be so kind. Yeah. What are we doing? No, I'm
Get
just
us in the-
kidding.
Oh, Jesus.
Food questions?
What's your what's the first seed you ever planted and why was it an apple seed?
The first seed I planted was, I think it was some sort of flower, and I was in kindergarten.
Like a marigold or something?
I think it was something like that. It was something we all had to do in the class.
Oh,
Yeah. To watch the seed grow and such. I remember those.
Pretty much taught
I
us how
think
to
flower might be the first time we've heard that.
Yeah,
Flower.
I think it is.
Okay.
What's funny is there's gonna be like 3 people who are like, "No, I said it." I'm like, wow, sorry.
Well, this is my house. Well, what's your favorite pie and why is it apple?
Oh god. Fuck. I love pie. It's so hard to choose.
Are you a huge pie fan?
Oh yeah. I fucking love pie. I don't hate cake, but I'm not a huge fan of cake.
Right on. It's okay to say you hate cake. There's not like a pro cake movement behind us or anything, dude. Don't worry.
I don't hate cake because a moist German chocolate cake with, well, it's not German chocolate. It doesn't have the coconut because I don't like coconut, but like I'll take caramel icing and put it on chocolate cake, and
there you
if
go.
it's moist, it's fucking really good. But
so let me hear you right here. So you like cake if it's smothered in chocolate and caramel. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that you like pie, and cake is a lie.
But if I had to choose a pie, it would probably be warm apple pie.
No bullshit. No.
It's between that and cherry, but I think I like apple more. Oh, poison.
Right
oh, blackberry.
It's just getting pie hard.
It's so hard to choose.
I was just gonna say, wait a minute. You're about to have all the cream for the pie you need. Let's slow this down. Let's move it to the fruit, sir. Let's move it.
I'm
to
out
the fruit.
though.
What's your
do you do apple pie? Do you do a la mode and or?
Oh yeah.
Do you ever put cheddar on a slice of pie and eat it, which is apparently a thing?
Whipped cream, yeah, like frozen Cool Whip maybe, but no, not cheddar cheese. I love cheese, but not with my
ice
pie.
cream.
No ice cream. I don't like it.
So wait a minute. You're turning your nose up to something you've never tried. Have you sat there and ate a piece of warm apple pie with a slice of cheddar cheese?
No, because it's disgusting.
No.
Okay.
There's a lot of shit people don't eat because it's gross.
I will try anything once when it comes to food. I will, because I've been pleasantly surprised many times.
Do you know you have a whole Discord of listeners waiting for the fucking results of this now?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. You just committed, sir. I heard it. You heard it, Rev.
I'm gonna. I got a coupon from this website called The Creamery, and I'll order from them soon.
How funny!
Shit. All right, what's your favorite fruit and why is it apple?
Fruit is probably a banana or a thing I call an alien fruit. It's so weird. It's got like it's a ranpatan.
Ranpatan?
it like when you actually like get into
I like
the
alien fruit. That's cool.
Weird.
I've not heard of it. I'm not super big into fruit, so I'm probably looking like an idiot. But banana and or alien fruit is probably my favorite answer now.
Yeah, I fucking love bananas.
I just love you like an alien fruit. Like, okay, you're gonna need to explain what the fuck that is.
Dude, when you open it, to me it looks like an alien's egg. Like the part that you're supposed to kind of like eat. Like it's weird how you eat it too. Like, they're good though. They taste really good. I just like because they're weird as shit.
Yeah, that's I can't picture it, so I'll take your word for it.
All right.
Yeah.
So, you walk into a pizza joint for the first time ever. It's your first time. You're just walking in on your lunch break. You're getting a slice of pie. Okay. Are you going cheese or pepperoni?
Pepperoni.
Yeah, boy.
But I only eat cheese from places that have already confirmed that their pizza is fire.
And you've confirmed through their pepperoni? That just means their pepperoni is fire.
I don't want to buy something I'm not going to like. And if there's pepperoni on it, I can always eat it.
Thank you. The worst pepperoni is still better than most cheeses.
I finally understand your I want to get my money's worth. When you say that, Padre, like when you say I'm paying for it, I want to enjoy it. So I get it now.
I just
don't want to have a
paying
shitty
money and being disappointed. Yeah, if I'm gonna have a shitty cheese or a shitty pepperoni, I'd rather have a shitty pepperoni.
It's
Damn, I can't say you fucking convinced me to change, but you've convinced me to at least see your fucking way.
I am on the record, and if not, I will be again. Some of the best pizza I've had in my life have been straight cheese.
Yep.
But you got to consider the law of averages. And you eat a lot more shitty pizza than you eat good pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Shitty cheese is shittier than a shitty pepperoni.
But so here's my caveat to that very notion, though. You might never get a chance to go to that fucking shop again.
Yeah.
Well, if that's shit, I'm not going back.
But you might not ever get the chance to fucking experience
the
I
have the best pepperoni ever. I'm stoked. I'm not going to wonder.
Yeah, I mean, I guess your voice is excited. Like, oh, shit. You didn't get fucked at least, right?
Yeah. So if you got one slice, you like the pepperoni, you have time to get a second slice of cheese.
Yeah, but then we're breaking down the whole rules. I will say, though, there is something. I know we're going philosophical on this pepperoni question now for no reason. But I will say there is some point, too, if you're ordering a full pizza, you get the cheese to appease the majority of the people. Because I think if you like pepperoni and you get a cheese, you're not as offended if you like cheese and hate pepperoni and there's pepperoni.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother psychological question that we'll ask later. When there's interest. Johnny,
what is your go-to sandwich now that we've pizzaed it up? If you're gonna get a sandwich, your favorite sandwich, what does it look like?
There's a place in like a few towns. No, where I live back where I grew up when I moved here. So there's a place called Little Italy, and they have a hot capricola sandwich, and it's the best sandwich I've ever had.
Hell yeah, that is a solid choice.
What's on it other than gabagool?
It's got the.
You got to talk with your hands.
Crap. Of course, it's got like lettuce and stuff like that on it. It's got tomatoes. I'm trying to think. I think it's got like mozzarella cheese on it.
I'm
some
sure it's
kind
a fresh mozzarella.
Oh yeah, the guy that used to run it, I haven't been there in a few years because he doesn't own it anymore. His kids do, and they've kind of gone corporate. But shit, I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
It's okay.
We were talking about
it
cheese,
happens.
homeboy.
Yeah.
The sandwich.
Did he make the cheese?
Made the same way anymore, but yeah, everything was made in-house or like grown by them when he ran the place. And he was the type, like he was 100% true Italian. Like you walked in there, you asked for something not to be on the sandwich. He goes, you can go outside and take it off and throw it in the trash can. But he wouldn't, he made things how he made them, and that was it. And it was great. His caprese salad was so good. Like, oh, food. I love food. And also, I can't really eat sandwiches anymore because I got to pick and choose the gluten I eat. Because at like 18, they found out I have celiac disease.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. I'm sorry, dude.
I don't follow my diet like I should, and the effects are prevalent.
None of us do. We're fucking American. We've earned the right, apparently.
I love to eat. Like, I love good tasting food.
Yeah, we all do.
I'm very thankful that I don't have that issue because bread and cheese, or not bread particularly, but cheese and
too much bread.
Yeah.
But cheese is amazing. If I became lactose
butt cheese, dude, nobody's eating butt cheese. What are you?
Not anymore.
It's my favorite.
You better come up. You better start talking about something better because I refuse to go from butt cheese into a sermon. I ask very little. Very little. I ask.
And here we prey on nut cheese instead of butt cheese.
This Sunday, I'm going to concentrate the service on bettering your friends. Find better ones. Get the fuck away from the current friends you have. No, I'm just kidding. No, I again encourage you, if you have any mixed feelings on it, to get involved in the community in any way you want. A lot of people meet their friends, and I think at the bare minimum you'll meet some really cool people, and it will help you grow. Don't be a dick. Mind your own business and go with Frog. Thanks for coming, Judas. Do you have anything to plug?
I really don't think so.
Fantastic.
Besides, like, typical Alabrije, BGG. Your sponsor.
You're calling out that monster, BGD. Calling that some bitch out finally. That you're ending our episode by calling out BGG, man. That's pretty rough.
I had to keep his penis erect.
Jesus Christ.
And good night.
God,
goodbye.
Jesus.
Goodbye, everybody.
I did.